All right, so you're gearing up for the Accenture Primer Assessment, right? And you don't just want to pass, you want to absolutely nail it. Well, you have come to the perfect place. We are going to break down exactly what you need to know to do just that. Let's dive right in.
Look, I get it. You're not here just to scrape by. You're aiming for the top, a perfect score. And you know what? That's exactly the right mindset. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to make that happen.
And here's the best part. Getting that 20 out of 20 is totally doable. Seriously, this isn't about cramming a million random facts. It's all about mastering a few really important fundamentals. And yep, we're going to cover every single one of them, starting right now. Okay, first things first, core programming. Think of these as the absolute bedrock, the building blocks for everything else. The test loves to throw these concepts into tricky multiple-choice questions just to see if you really know your stuff. So mastering this section? Yeah, it's pretty much non-negotiable.
So, what are we talking about specifically? Well, the assessment hits on 4 key areas again and again. Control flow, how Python handles its comments, some common string operations, and a big one, how arrays work with memory. Let's tackle them one by one.
All right, switch case statements. Here's the number one thing you've got to watch out for, the break keyword. See, without a break, the code doesn't just stop when it finds the right case. Oh no, it falls through and keeps running the code in the next case below it. This is such a classic trick question, so make it a habit. Always, always look for the break.
Now I know what you're thinking. Comments? That's super basic, right? But trust me, don't sleep on this. The test will absolutely check if you know the difference. The hash symbol, that's for a single line. Triple quotes are for your multi-line, block-style comments. They'll show you some code and ask what a certain part does. Knowing this is a super easy point to grab.
Oh, you are going to love this one. This is a classic Python trick, and you have to know it. If you ever see a string or a list followed by these brackets, //-1, that's just a fancy, super quick way of saying, reverse this thing completely. It's so common in Python, and it shows up all the time in those what does this code do questions.
So ever wonder why arrays are so zippy? It's all about this idea of contiguous memory. Basically, all the elements are stored right next to each other, one after the other. It's like houses on a street, all with consecutive addresses, 101, 102, 103. Because they're all lined up perfectly, the computer can jump to any element instantly. It's a fundamental concept they definitely expect you to grasp.
Okay, so we've got the building blocks of code down. Now, let's talk about what we do with that code. Handle data. This next part is all about the practical side of things. You know, reading files, writing to them, and pulling information from databases with SQL.
When you're looking at code that deals with files, there are a few things to watch for. .readlines, for example, just grabs all the lines and sticks them in a list. But here's the real gotcha, the file mode. If you see a file being opened in write mode, that's little w, be careful. That command will completely wipe out whatever was in the file before. That's a super critical detail.
Moving on to SQL. You don't need to be a database guru, but you do need to read a basic query. A really common one you'll see is the between clause. It's just a simple way to grab everything within a range. So this query here, it's just saying, hey, give me all the sales records where the amount is anywhere from 100 up to 500. And yep, that includes 100 and 500 themselves.
All right, joiners. I know these can look intimidating, but let's break it down. An inner join is the most common type. All it does is smash 2 tables together based on a matching key, like a customer ID. And here's the key part. It only keeps the rows where there's a match in both tables. Then, if there's a where clause, that just filters the final combined results.
Okay, let's pull back from the code for a second and look at the big picture. We're talking DevOps and the cloud. These aren't just buzzwords. They are huge topics in tech right now. And Accenture definitely wants to see that you get the modern way software is actually built, tested, and shipped.
So what's the whole point of DevOps anyway? Well, it really boils down to 3 main goals, and they're all related. Speeding up development, getting teams to work together better, and automating as much as possible. At the end of the day, it's all about making the whole process of building software faster, smoother, and more reliable.
And a huge piece of the DevOps puzzle is this thing called continuous integration, or CI. If you remember 2 words, remember these: frequency and automation. It's simple. Developers are constantly merging their code into one central place. And every single time they do, a whole set of automated builds and tests kicks off. The goal? To find and fix bugs super early.
Now for the cloud section, especially with AWS, the questions are usually pretty straightforward. It's basically a big matching game. They're not going to grill you on the nitty-gritty technical specs. They just want to know, do you understand the basic job of each major service? What is this tool for?
So here are the big names you'll want to recognize. AWS Lambda, that's for serverless computing. Amazon Redshift, think massive data warehouses. And of course, the core stuff, like VPCs and CDNs. But let's focus for a second on one specific area that trips a lot of people up: EC2 storage.
Okay, this is a must-know. The difference is night and day. Instant Store is temporary. Think of it as being physically bolted to the server. If you stop that server, poof, that data is gone for good. But EBS is permanent. It's more like an external hard drive you plug in. The data stays safe and sound even if the server instance is turned off. You absolutely have to know the difference.
All right, we've gone through all the core technical stuff. Now, let's wrap this all up into a simple, winning strategy. Think of this as your final checklist to make sure you walk into that assessment feeling confident and ready to absolutely crush it. So here it is, your 4-step plan. 1. Focus on the fundamentals. I mean, really understand them. Don't just memorize answers. 2. Get good at reading a piece of code and predicting exactly what it's going to do. 3. Learn the basic job of those key AWS services. And 4. Get your hands dirty with a little Python and SQL. Honestly, if your foundation is solid, you'll be in great shape.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Are your fundamentals strong enough? Because if you really focus on the key areas we just walked through, you're not just going to be ready. You're going to be in a fantastic position to get that perfect score. Now go get them. Good luck.